Hello, my name is Gabe, and I have something a little bit different today. Now, I said in my New Year's video that I'd be covering Spider-Man No Way Home. I want to make clear at the start, this is a spoiler analysis, I guess. I realized I didn't have much to say about the movie without spoiling everything. And, well, I didn't want to do that right after I'd seen the movie because I'd seen it on release day, and, well, I didn't want to put folks in a position where they had to wait to watch the video. Well, I feel enough time has passed now that I can talk about it. So I will. Okay, so there are a lot of angles to approach this movie on. First off, a rundown of my opinions. The movie was awesome. It offered more than I was expecting to see familiar faces and get to be surprised that way, but the movie offered way more than that. It offered genuine arcs and conclusions that I hadn't even considered a possibility before. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, moving right along, the topic I really want to broach is impact. What impact is this movie going to have on the rest of the MCU going forward, and on Spider-Man, and what they decide to do with the character in the future? First off, let's go blunt. This movie expands the MCU multiverse beyond what it was before. That's obvious. And in that sense, it not only allows for us to see Andrew and Tobey Spider-Man again, but for other properties to get sprinkled in as well, including maybe the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, or, of course, more notably, Fox's X-Men, which we've had kind of a teasing hint at in WandaVision. But there are stories to tell. I would not be surprised if we get some, even if we don't get some more Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man stuff down the line in movie form, if they make an appearance in What If. Yeah, I think they could have, now that they've literally established these alternate continuities these characters are all going to be going back to, I think it would be a good opportunity for shows like What If to explore those universes. And I kind of hugely hope they do. But there is one question that I am super into discussing right now, and that is Black Suit Spider-Man. If you've watched this video, you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home. And if you haven't and you're watching this video, you should have. The movie's great. But there is one question that put my hands in, is, are they doing Black Suit Spider-Man? And it sounds like that's the plan. I say this because I don't see them having a separate version of Venom just to have a separate version of Venom in the MCU. They must be putting a symbiote in the MCU so that symbiote can interact with Spider-Man, which means we have to be about to get a black suit. And, well, I think that Peter Parker is in a great position to have the black suit. Great for us, not so much him. He is at a point in his life where his stress is going to be way higher, and he's going to have no one to talk to, no one to confide in. And I think the next arc for Spider-Man is, well, I'm going to say, I think we're getting Secret Wars. But even if we're not getting Secret Wars, I think he's going to be getting the black suit in the next crossover event he appears in. I think he's going to be a moodier and darker Spider-Man, but maybe not necessarily the vital focus of the movie. And I think a lot of the characters in the movie, and maybe some audience members, will chop it up to recent circumstances. Or at the very least, Spider-Man will himself. But in his next solo outing, he is going to realize how the black suit's affecting him, and that whatever else happens, he needs to surround himself with some people. He can't just be alone. He can't just take on all the stress by himself. Ultimately, whether that means he's going to reunite with Ned and MJ, or he's going to find new allies to have as his allies, that is a decision he is going to have to make in the next movie, and I suspect will be based around a lot of contracty stuff. This is where I see the MCU Spider-Man heading. So, yeah. Since maybe the next big event's going to take everyone to Mexico for some reason, I think that's what it was, and in Mexico, that's when the black suit's going to happen. And yeah, I think we're going to be getting some Tobey Maguire stuff in the Multiverse of Madness because, well, Sam Raimi. Now, as for where the MCU as a whole is going from there, well, always in a lot of places, I think we are moving on to a newer era. That's for sure. The era of the multiverse. And I would expect more crossover-y stuff in the future. Some interesting ones, perhaps, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you for joining me for this discussion and this analysis. If you enjoyed this video, why not leave it a like? If you want to see more like it, do subscribe. But more importantly than anything else, have a good night.